Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on Toned In Entertainment where we love pop culture. Today, it's time for another Married with Children episode review. You know, I think it's so much easier just to be a good neighbor than a bad neighbor. But if the line is crossed, things can escalate very quickly, which is gonna lead me to this week's Married with Children review, which is episode 16 from season 8 called How Green Was My Apple? Now, Al has never been one to be excited over a piece of fruit. Heck, when he was a farmer, he was more interested in growing things like bread and pizza with extra cheese than fruits and vegetables. So for Al to get excited over one lonely apple swinging from a tree is definitely a rarity. Now, Peg is going to suggest to Al that why doesn't he just go ahead and pick that apple? But Al is going to insist that the apple just isn't perfect yet and he's going to wait it out. But maybe Al should have taken Peg's advice, because when Al goes back to look at his beautiful apple swinging from the tree, well, it's gone. And this apple just didn't fall off, but it was picked by Jefferson. Now, Jefferson is going to walk into the house with apple in hand, take a bite from it, and let's just say, for Jefferson, this apple is not his cup of tea. Now, Al is going to be furious that Jefferson just took his precious little apple and threw it away like yesterday's trash. Now, the two are going to have a squabble back and forth as to who the apple really belonged to, because it appears that the tree is actually on both of their property lines. So the only thing for these two to do is to get a survey done. And no, they're not going to go with their first instinct and ask 50 people their opinion as to who they think the tree belongs to, but they're actually going to have to get a professional property surveyor to come in and sort out this entire mess. Now, here in this episode, there's a couple of really fun guest appearances. One of them being Danny Bonaduce, who sort of plays himself, but he's really there to be a land surveyor who's going to break the news to Al that he believes the land belongs to the Darcys. Now, also in this episode is going to be Gary Coleman, who also sort of plays himself, but he's going to be there to hand out citations to the Darcys for their poorly constructed driveway. Now, there's going to be no talking it out between the Bundys and the Darcys, and instead, things are going to escalate into all-out warfare. And while things are going to start off simple, like Jefferson cutting off Peggy's cable TV, things are going to quickly escalate to shocking things like the use of a toll booth and even a rocket launcher. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give the episode How Green Was My Apple an 8 out of 10. Now, in addition to the funny moments that are had here with the guest appearances, there's also plenty of laugh out loud moments to be had here as the Bundys and the Darcys go back and forth, each trying to prove to one another what their property really is. Now, at the end of this episode, it actually looks like the Darcys and the Bundys are going to reconcile, and Al even gives a speech about peace and goodwill to mankind. But then another apple is going to fall from the tree, and all that peace and goodwill stuff is going to be thrown right out the window. Now, what are your thoughts on the episode How Green Was My Apple, and what episodes of Married with Children would you like to see me review here in the future? Comment down below. And if you've missed any of my Married with Children episode reviews, a link is down below so you can check them out at your own leisure. All right, guys, if you like these Married with Children episode reviews, make sure you hit that red button so you can subscribe here to stay tuned in here to Toned In Entertainment for future videos.
Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.